I feel like intimacy is something that I know that I've struggled with. And it's also something that I'm hearing that other people are struggling with. It's just intimacy, committing to intimacy. And so, yeah, I kind of just wanted to like, just talk about that a little bit. This has been an interesting season for me. And usually, well, I don't want to say usually, because I'm still kind of getting used to, my new life and all the things. But, this time last year, Acts 2:42 was right around the corner as far as announcement, or we had just announced. And like coming out of summer, going into fall was just extremely busy season. I feel like I was gone almost every weekend. I had something going on. And this year is starting to feel the same. And I don't know if it's just because fall is just a busy time ministry-wise in general. People are usually busy that are in ministry during the fall. And so, yeah, it just for the last couple of months, things just feel really, really busy. And the irony of all of it is that when I was on my sabbatical at the end of last year, going into the beginning of this year, it felt like I had nothing to do. Like I was just chilling. And I remember sensing from the Lord, like, okay, like you better enjoy it now because it won't always be like this. And so now I'm kind of in the thick of it won't always be like this. Like now it's busy again. And the Lord has really been challenging me when it comes to intimacy. And the Lord brought Luke 10 to my heart. And so I kind of just want to read this and like kind of walk through it. And I pray that this episode like really encourages you as the Lord encouraged me as I was navigating through this text, studying these few verses. I've been meditating on this pretty heavy. And so I just wanted to kind of share what my heart was regarding this and kind of navigate through this text and encourage you in the way that the Lord encouraged me. So yeah, I just want to start with reading it first, and then I'll just invite you guys into kind of where and why this landed so hard on me. So this is Luke 10, starting at 38. While they were traveling, he entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. And she had a sister named Mary, who also sat at the Lord's feet and was listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks and came up and asked, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? So tell her to give me a hand." The Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has made the right choice and it will not be taken from her." The Lord brought Mary and Martha up to my heart because one thing that I've always been kind of transparent about is that I'm really, really good at serving. Like I feel like the Lord has, and I'm not boasting about myself. I just think that the Lord has graced me in a particular way to serve. If you've ever been over at my house, the people that have been over my house, they will tell you, I typically, like if there are people around or, it's Christmas or even just, hanging out, whatever, I typically don't sit down. I'm usually the one busying and doing all the things, right? I'm in the kitchen or I'm like, hey, let me get you a water. So when I read this, when I read chapter 10, I so immediately identify with Martha. Because I'm the one that would have been like, excuse me, you guys need water? I'd have been like, geez, you need some juice, you need some, y'all need some olives crushed or something. Like, what, you need some lentils? Like, what do y'all need? I'm that person. I'm over here getting the pita bread ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting the hummus together. I'm making it look nice, the charcuterie board. Like, that's me, okay? I am a busy bee. And so naturally, when I read chapter 10, I naturally identify with Martha, and maybe that's just, I can't even blame it on being a mom, honestly, because it's like, I just have always been this way. And maybe because I was raised with my mother who was always on the go. You know what I'm saying? My mother was always on the go. She went from here to here. She got up in the morning and then she went to work, and from work then to a Bible study, or Bible study to this, or, Saturdays we were doing stuff at the church, and then Sundays we were at church, and then, she was just always doing stuff, helping people out. So that's just kind of my context of how I was raised. And so I think that I've naturally adopted a lot of those same habits. And recently, just even in my intimacy, in my with the Lord, or lack of intimacy with the Lord, even in my prayer time, a lot of my prayers have been like, I feel like I'm doing all the things, but I'm just not getting the answers that I want. I'm not getting the clarity that I want, that I feel like I need. I'm filling up my time doing the work of the Lord, doing ministry stuff, but I'm still finding myself frustrated. Like even when I can even hear myself when I pray, I can even hear the frustration in my voice. Like I can hear it. I can hear that I'm frustrated. I talked about this not too long ago, but there were some things that I was really asking the Lord for from the end of last year all the way up until recently. And I'm fasting, I'm praying, I'm doing all the things, and I'm not getting the answers from him. I'm just not. And it feels like just one closed door after another closed door. Then it was like a door open a little bit and then another door, then the door behind that closed. It was just stuff like that. And yeah, so like as I'm praying, I could just hear myself being frustrated. And like I said, the Lord brought Luke 10 to my heart. And so I'm reading this and I'm just like, man, like I can so identify with Martha in the busyness, just getting stuff done. You know what I'm saying? Like moving around, making sure everything is good. And then you see Mary, who's doing the exact opposite. But because I feel like there are so many of us that are like Martha, and I'm sure there are a ton of people like Mary, and God bless you. I'm getting there. I pray that after this episode, you and I both will have more hearts to respond like Mary first. But as I'm reading through Luke 10, I see that Mary, it's very clear. Mary's at the feet of Jesus. Martha's busy. Martha's frustrated. The Lord answers her. And he identifies her anxiousness. He identifies that she's distracted. There are so many different versions. They'll say you're distracted by many things, or you're worried about many things, or you're anxious for many things. And then he says Mary has made the right choice. There are other versions in translations that says that she makes the better choice, or she has chosen the better thing, which is the version that I like better, is that she's chosen the better thing. I'm going to read it in a few different versions. So the Amplified version says, Martha, Martha, you are worried and bothered and anxious about many things, but only one thing is necessary. For Mary has chosen the good part, which will not be taken away from her. But then if you go to the ESV version, it says, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. And Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. And then the last version I want to give is the NLT, where it says, Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her. So I like the versions that say, Martha, Martha, you're anxious about many things, or you're busy about, you're worried about many things. I like those versions because I believe it identifies. And at least for me, it identified and spoke language specifically to where I feel like I am.